Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Jay and Nnenna. My name is Jay, and my beautiful wife Nnenna is not around at the moment. She's trying to sort out a few things as she needs to be on another platform shortly. So I'll be handling today's session all by myself. So it's going to be a guy's thing today, but then everyone could learn, could listen in, and have a great time. As usual, I would love if you could subscribe to our channel and then click the bell button so you can get all notifications whenever we put up videos. Today is Friday, and then we'll be talking about something very special. I'll be talking on how I knew she was the one. Really, it's very interesting that we're uploading videos on Fridays. We got married on a Friday, so it's easy to track. So today makes 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 2 wedding weeks. And it's been awesome. So far, so good. We're trusting God for better days. So, yes, straight to the topic for today, how I knew she was the one. Well, I think this would come like a story, and then we'll pick out the point little by little as we move on in the discussion today. So, yeah, last week I mentioned that if the story was going to come from my wife, it's going to be perhaps different and longer. But from a guy's point of view, we just go straight to the point and we say it the way it is. So I knew my wife many years ago, roughly 14 years ago, thereabout, and we were teenagers. We were kids, but at that time it wasn't really the marriage thing. As a teenager, we were more concerned about our passions then. And then we had similar passions. Music was a major drive for me. Music was also a major drive for her. And one thing led to the other, and I became her music teacher. Now, music teacher, the story is long. My elder brother was teaching in their church, and somehow, he particularly had to put her through on music, and somehow she came to the house and we met. I was very young, probably maybe 17 or 18, and then we started out as music, just music. So she was very interested in music, as at that time I was already I think grade 2 at the Muson Center. So I felt I could teach music. I understood music to an extent. So I would put her through, teach her a couple of things, and then in the process we began to know each other more and more. We had times where we'd have to meet, and then we'll sit across the sitting room, and then she would sing and I would say, no, you're not doing it well, you're not projecting well, sing it this way, try this technique. And that was basically all. But trust me, it grew from there. We had several conversations, Facebook, WhatsApp, we could talk. I went to school, to the university, and she was, still at home then. And we would chat a few times here and there. And she was just to me like, a little sister in one corner somewhere. So going to school, obviously, I would come across so many other persons. I would meet people. I would interact with different people from the campus, and then I would spark off relationships somewhere along the line with people that I was communicating with more, I was seeing every day. So a couple of relationships went in between that period of me being a teenager, 18 to 19 to 20 to 21 to 22 to 23, like that. But in the midst of all these relationships, she was a constant in the picture. I could go back and talk to her. She would also, based on the fact that she looked at me as a big brother with the all-seeing eye. She could tell me a few things about what was going on in her own life, tell me about our relationships. In the course of those years, I personally, pardon my English, will I say, linked her up with a couple of guys. And then, I would tell her, oh, this guy is nice. Oh, sure, sure, you can go with him. And based on respect, she would do, what I would say. And then she would go with the person. And after a while, she would come back to say, this person isn't worth it. But over time, it came to a point where I discovered, yes, I'm out there, relating, interacting, mingling, and then there's this one person that really has my, best interest at heart, and that one person that I really, really do love. So, put two and two together a couple of years after, uh, when I decided that it was time to settle, it was time to become a responsible man. Sorry if that sounds offensive to some people. I knew where exactly I was to go. So at the end of the day, I think 2018, late 2018, I was just out of a relationship, and felt painful. I felt deserted, and it was close to her birthday. That's my wife's birthday. And then when her birthday came, I think it was on a Sunday or so, I sent her a message. She put up a post on her WhatsApp, and then I was like, that is my little friend. Sent her a message. How are you doing? Happy birthday. What's been up with you? And she was like, I'll be fine. You just forgot somebody, all this kind talk. So I felt, well, at this point, she was really, very warm, and we just set it off. So we started talking again, interacting really closely, and at a point in time, I decided, I looked at myself and said it was time for me to settle. Now, thinking about who to settle with, I didn't need to think too far, because I just felt I need to marry my friend. I need to marry someone who I'm very comfortable with. I need to marry someone who my soul would always want to yearn for. I don't want to get married to someone that I would be with and then I'm looking at someone else, or I am carried away by someone else. So I made up my mind that she was the one I was to get married to. Sorry about the dogs barking. I guess someone is just walking in. So also, if I take some steps backward and think about the spiritual aspect of it, maybe hearing God, and of course, there was a time that I practically, got that leading that this was my wife. Funny enough, that was several years ago, and after then, I went back to school again, and I was just head deep in my work. I was head deep in the activities at the fellowship. So I just felt, man, it's not. I'm not home. Let me just enjoy myself out here. Let me interact, mingle, make friends, do the normal things. Get involved in church and several activities. So I got busy, but several times I would remember that I felt this sometime, but I just felt, well, if it's God that spoke to me, or if it's God that led me, then it would make it work. At that time, it wasn't really towards her. It wasn't working towards her. I was busy with all the things I was involved with. But I think I had to come to that point where there was nothing to do anymore. Like I was all by myself. And then that made me realize I needed something. I needed God to, talk to me again and let me know what am I supposed to do. So it got to that point, and I realized, yes, this was the person I was supposed to be with. Now, if I'm going to itemize it, make it look like sequential, how I knew she was the one, I'd always loved that from the beginning. She was like my kid sister. We're doing the music together, and it was just fun. So I loved who she was. And then going to school and coming back, I got really attracted to the woman she had become. She had grown, she had become more mature. Our discussions then, our chat line was really, really very, very interesting. It was relatable. I could I could talk to her as long as I wanted and not feel tired. So I'd always loved her. And then I mentioned the music thing. So we have shared same interest over time. So we kind of loved the same things. So it was easy for us to interact on that level, you know. So we shared the same interest over time. I felt at home with her, like a sense of peace, just a huge sense of peace. I felt it in my spirit. I just knew this is the one person I'm supposed to be with, and right now, right then, and then when I was thinking about, okay, it's time to settle, you need to get married. I had to search within myself. I had to be sincere, put away every sentiment. I need somebody tall, somebody short, somebody fat, somebody slim. And then who do I really want to be with? Who do I feel I can spend time with and understand? Be someone that I can talk to and someone that can talk to me and I won't feel like, who are you? You know? So I had to tell myself, this is who I want. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. And then it all worked out for good. I spoke with her and took a bit of time, but she warmed up back to me to say, okay, yeah, fine. I'll walk this road with you as long as, you know where you're going. And we had to define where we were going and the plans for our lives. And here we are today. So if I'm going to turn the table around, for you listening, you're thinking, how will I know she's the one? I have so many female friends. I have so many, people I'm looking at and I'm thinking. For me personally, I keep saying it's not difficult. It's not difficult, especially when you position yourself properly. Now, maybe in my own case, because I'd already been that figure somewhere, somehow, it was easy to say I know him. I've seen him do his stuff, and I've seen how he interacts and how he reacts to situations. She should be able to say that, and maybe that was why it was easy to say yes. But it's really not difficult. It starts with you as the guy. I'm talking. I'm the only one here. She's not here. As the guy, you need to position yourself properly. It's not about I'm looking for someone to just have sex with or make babies with, or I just need that person that can just take me as I am. No, the woman will not take your rubbish. She would not take anything unless she also doesn't have a goal or a focus for her own life. So most right-thinking ladies would not just take you for who you are. They want you to be better still. So you have to project something good. It means now you have to take the time and the pain and the study and the research and the prayers and everything you need to do to become the best you. So mentally, you're prepared. Mentally, you can lead. A woman needs someone that can lead her, someone that can give her direction. Fine, it's not like you're commanding, but then you're not confused. You don't just walk like a nincompoop. You know what you want to do, and then you can share that vision. The Holy Book, the Bible talks about write the vision, make it clear that he who reads can run. So for you to be able to be reading something while running, it must be really very clear, not illegible. It must be very clear. So it means that for you to run, together with your spouse or the person you're looking at to settle with, you need to make your vision very clear. You need to know exactly, this is where I'm going. I hope to settle in the next 3 years. I hope to settle in the next 4 years. It's clear, this is it. You might not have all it takes now based on maybe money or connection, but this is what I want to do in 4 years' time. So it's easy to share that, to tell the lady, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, this is what we want to do. And then she's willing to run that race with you to that point. But if there is no direction, then, you're not going to win her. It's going to be hard. Unless she's just out for any guy. But if you want something, very tangible and real, I think you have to set your mind to it. So I knew it was her all along. And for our own side of the story might differ. Probably next week she would come up with her own part of the story, and it could be long and, but this is my own part of the story, and maybe one day we'll sit together and ask ourselves questions At what point was this? At what point was that? At what point was that? So for today, that will be all from my side. Once again, I would want to appreciate every one of you for your support, for your love, and taking time out to listen to us and learn, and also hoping that our lives influences you to get better at what you do or what you would plan to do. So please endeavor to like, comment, feel free, ask questions, any questions. We would be open enough to, to answer your questions, and do subscribe so whenever we post, you can be notified straight up that okay, there's a post on Jay and Nnenna. Sorry once again for all those who have been waiting. Oh, where's Nnenna? She's not here. Where's Mama? She's not here. She has lots of programs lined up for today. Prayers, video. She has to be online to discuss with some teenagers. So she currently can't, be on the seat here with me. So I'm doing this alone for now. Probably by next week, if I'm busy, she could also come up and then do the same. So thank you very, very much. I remain Jay, and next week, Friday, 6 p.m. as well, we'll be sure to have an upload here waiting for you. Do have a great weekend and stay safe. God bless you. We love you. Thank you. Bye.